Okay, guys, this is chapter 1, practice test number 1C. This one has some tricky algebra in it, so just if you guys want to watch this, if you're not doing anything else as we study here. So what you're going to want to do is check if x equals 1 works, okay? Because there are some points on this graph that are continuous. There's lots of areas or lots of domain that's continuous. Of course, we have a problem here, right? 1 minus 1 is 0. So that's no good, right? So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to try to manipulate this equation so that we can divide out a factor or try and reduce this a little bit. So what you're going to want to do is perform the indicated operation in the numerator here. There's a subtraction there. So let's get a common denominator when we subtract fractions. So we'll do root x over root x. That's what we're going to multiply this one by, so that we have a common denominator of root x. Okay, so what we have is we have 1 over root x minus root x over root x, and then divided by x minus 1. Please rewrite everything in the question, every step, because I've seen it so many times where, you know, students forget. They just want to focus on the top, and then they forget about the bottom or whatever. So try and rewrite it every time. It takes a couple extra seconds, but you'll be thankful. So this is 1 minus root x all over root x over x minus 1. So when we divide twice, it's the same as showing a product in that denominator, right? I talked about that last class. So this is like root x times x minus 1. Okay? Now, does that help us at all? Does that help us at all? Well, can we... no, this is still 0 on the bottom, isn't it? Okay? So what can we do? Can we factor anything further? Can we go any further? What can we do? Well, we may need to rationalize something, right? We may need to rationalize, we may need to maybe factor something out here. This. So this may not be totally apparent here. This may be a little tricky to see, but if you multiplied this by 1 plus root x, top and bottom, you'd get a difference of squares up top. And then that difference of squares here, you would end up with 1 minus x on the top. So watch this. So the top here, when you do the FOIL this out, you get 1, and then it's a difference of squares, so minus root x squared is 1 minus x. Now what does that do? Well, just watch. We have root x, we have x minus 1. Leave these as factors on the bottom because we kind of want to divide out factors, so don't expand it, leave the factors. And watch this. X minus 1 and 1 minus x are almost identical, aren't they? You're very close. And as a matter of fact, if you factor a negative out of this, that changes the sign here, and guess what? Now they're the same. X minus 1. X minus 1. Okay, so I'll just show you that again. If you factor a negative out, if you have this situation, you just factor a negative out, and then that changes the sign of everything inside here, doesn't it? So now this one will divide out with this one. This is a trickier question, I would say. But you have negative 1 on top now, and you have root x on the bottom times 1 plus root x. And we've gotten rid of the factor that's the problem with the substitution. So if we substitute now, we don't have a 0 in the denominator. So the limit as x approaches 1, actually let's just substitute now. So when we substitute that in, we get negative 1 over root 1 times 1 plus root 1, which is negative 1 over 1 times 2, or 2. So you should get negative a half there. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the clap. Is that what you got? Maybe? Is that the answer? Is that what's supposed to happen? Okay, awesome. It's good news.